Hey friends, it's Josie. Welcome back to Two Sisters Homestead. So today we're just going to do a little project for rendering our tallow. So we got our fat from our cow. I have about 4 pounds of it, and I am going to render this down in my crock pot on low. So one thing about when you get a beef cow is that you need to make sure that you ask for the things that you want, and if not, they'll just throw it away or do something else with it, whereas you won't get it. However, whenever we get a cow, I want to be able to use everything that I can of the animal. So this is one thing that I can use, and also it's really good for cooking oil, or you can use it for like soaps and things like that. I'm not going to use this for soaps. I'm just going to use this for cooking oils. So that would make it so I don't have to like do so much process to it. Like I'm okay with the a little bit of the beefy taste to it. So I'm not going to render it down as much as people would for soap, just because I'm not using it for that. So if you wanted to use this for soap, you just do it, render it down a little bit more, and then you will like kind of like wash it with water. I'll show you, and then it helps get a lot of that smell and beef flavor out. Whenever you are doing this, you do not want to do it too hot. You don't want to warm it up too hot because it can start cooking the fat, and it gives it more of that beefy taste, and that's not something we want necessarily. So I just want it to be regular. So for this, what we're going to start by doing is start cutting this down in small pieces. So some butchers, you can ask them if they will put this fat through a grinder, and then you can just go ahead and put it in whatever pot that you're using to render it down and do that. However, I didn't even ask ours, didn't even think about it. So what you want to do is try to cut this down as much as you can in small pieces so that you get more of that oil from this fat. The bigger the chunks, the less oil you'll get. So I'm going to try to do it as small as I can. And then I have my crock pot insert right here that we're going to put it all in. And then we're just going to cook it low and slow for the better part of the day, a couple hours. And then I will come back to it later on and do some more. So this will probably take a couple of days for me to actually get finished with it, but this is just to start. So what you want to do is get a knife, and here's your, and get your beef, and you just want to start cutting it in small pieces. And then some of it like has the fat and stuff, has like some of the meat. If it does, you want to just go ahead and take that out and get rid of it or give it to your chickens, because we want to try to get as much of that off as possible, just so we can have a little bit of a cleaner product whenever we actually get done. So the more you can take out now, the better, just because, it'll be less work later on. So I'm going to do what I can. I can see there's a few little things up there that I will need to do, but it doesn't look like there will be too much in here, so we will just see. But yes, you guys, this is a product of rendering down this fat for oil, which is really cool because now we have another purpose for the animal instead of letting this waste, which is really amazing. And I am working with this frozen, and it is best to do it when it's frozen, just because it's easier to cut, whereas if it wasn't frozen, it's going to slip and slide everywhere. So it is better if you can do the frozen pieces. And some people also use serrated knives. I have one on the side of me right here that I will end up using possibly as well. It just helps grip it a little bit more. So we might end up transferring to that when we need to. But this is just the first part of it, you guys. It's very simple, very easy. It takes a little bit of time, but that's about it. So as long as you have the time to do it, then that's all you need, which It is 32 degrees outside today, so we aren't doing anything outdoors, which is really good. So I have time to do stuff like this. Okay, let me try this serrated knife and see if that does any better. Don't seem like it is quite yet. So we will continue to use this one. So I'm going to finish doing this, you guys, and then I will bring you back whenever we are ready for the next step. Okay, so I have it all in the crock pot set to low. I did add about 2 quarts of water to this. This is how I'm going to be doing it. It's called the wet method to do it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to be running a few errands and leaving this for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back to it whenever it's ready for the next step. Okay, friends, so we are back here to our fat, and I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. So here it is. It's been on for probably about 11, 12, 1, 2, 4 or 5 hours. So we're going to be done with it now, and we're going to start the next process. So I put everything in the sink to make it a little bit less mess, and now I'm just going to ladle all of this into a tea towel over a strainer into a bowl, so it can get all the impurities out and get all these cracklings out. It can just go onto a tea towel, and then we will get that pressed out, and it'll all fall into this bowl. So I did let this mixture cool off just a little bit, but I didn't want to let it cool off for too long because I didn't want it to start solidifying.
Are you all done?
Okay, so now I think it's at a safe point for me to be able to dump it in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So then we're going to lift this up to try to make sure we get out as much as we can. now I'm just going to press on it just to make sure I can get as much out that I can. Okay, so now this part is done. I'm going to bring you a little bit closer to see what it looks like, and then we're going to put it into the fridge for a couple hours or overnight, depending on when I can get to it next, and then I will show you the outcome of it. And this will probably be the last step that I do. I'm probably not going to rinse it again just because I'm not using it for soap, but it's just that simple, you guys. So let me show you, and then we're going to put it in the fridge. So here is the fat whenever it is rendered down. So here is the fat, and we now the water, as you can see, is, let me see if I can get you, it's at the bottom, and now we need to bring it up and try to get it out. I can. And then you're left with this dish, so we're going to set that aside. And then you have all of this yucky liquid, which is the water and any impurities. So now we're going to come down here, and what you want to do is just scrape any of those impurities off of here. And just like that, you guys, we have our tallow. So now I'm going to put it in a pot and cook it down so that we can put it into jars. And then I'll probably put it in the freezer. I probably won't risk putting it in like a can or anything like that. We'll just put it in our freezer, and then whenever we need it, we will have it for that. Okay, so we're putting it into our pot. And we're going to turn the heat on so it can start melting down. Okay, so now it is all melted, and now we are going to start adding it to our jars. And then you want to make sure that you can have enough space for it to expand. And then you just move on to the next. And then let's do one last one. And then we have our tallow that is ready to go in the freezer, and I'm probably going to put this one in the fridge since it's only a little bit. And then we have a little bit of tallow for a little bit of time. But this is it for today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.